Let me tell you about this crazy day I had at school. It was a typical morning, and I was just strolling to class, backpack slung over one shoulder, thinking about the soccer game after school. As I walked down the hallway, I noticed that the trophy case looked different. All the shiny trophies and medals were gone, replaced by old, dusty books. That's odd, I thought, scratching my head. I figured maybe they were cleaning or something. I shrugged it off and went to class. The teacher was talking about history, which usually makes me sleepy, but today, something was off. The pictures in our textbooks started to move like little movies. Knights were battling dragons, and queens were waving from their carriages. I rubbed my eyes, thinking I was dreaming, but nope, it was happening. Lunchtime came and I sat with my friends outside. We were munching on sandwiches when the ground shook. We all jumped up, dropping our food. "Earthquake?" someone yelled. But then we saw it wasn't an earthquake at all. The old oak tree in the middle of the playground was walking, lifting its roots like giant feet. We couldn't believe it. The tree stopped in front of the school and bent down, peering into the windows with its knotty face. The leaves rustled, and it felt like it was trying to tell us something. We all stood there, mouths open, too shocked to move. Then, the bell rang, and the tree settled back into its spot like nothing happened. We ran to class, but all we could talk about was the walking tree. The teachers didn't believe us, of course. They said trees can't walk, that we had too much imagination. But I know what I saw, and now, every time I pass that tree, I give it a little nod, just in case it decides to take another stroll. It was the weirdest day ever, but also kind of cool. I mean, how many people can say they've seen a tree go for a walk? So, after the tree settled back down, the rest of the school day was kind of a blur. Everyone was talking about the tree that walked. Some kids said it was a prank, others thought maybe it was some kind of magic. I just kept thinking about how it looked at us, like it had something important to say. The final bell rang, and I grabbed my stuff to head home. As I passed the tree, I couldn't help but stop and stare at it. It was just a normal tree again, but I felt different about it now. It wasn't just part of the playground. It was like a friend who had shared a secret with me. On my way out, I saw the principal talking to some teachers. They were all serious, looking at the tree and then at some old papers. I heard words like legend and protector, but they stopped talking when they saw me. That night at home, I did some research. I found an old story about the village that used to be here before the school was built. The story talked about a magical tree that would walk around to protect the people from danger. It was the same tree. I was sure of it. I had always been curious about the old storage room at the end of the school hallway. It was off limits to students, but rumors whispered that it held secrets beyond imagination. One day, during recess, I mustered the courage to sneak inside while the teacher was busy. As I stepped into the dimly lit room, a shiver ran down my spine. The air was thick with dust, and the shelves were cluttered with forgotten textbooks and broken equipment. But it was the strange symbols etched into the walls that sent a chill down my spine. Lost in my exploration, I didn't notice the door swinging shut behind me until it was too late. Panic set in as I realized I was trapped in the eerie room, with no way out. I pounded on the door, screaming for help, but no one came to my rescue. Hours passed, and the school grew quiet as the day came to an end. I was alone in the darkness, my only company the unsettling feeling that something was watching me from the shadows. And then, just as suddenly as it had closed, the door swung open, revealing the concerned faces of my classmates and teacher. They pulled me out of the storage room, their voices filled with relief and confusion. But as I stumbled out into the hallway, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had glimpsed something otherworldly in that room, something that shouldn't exist within the walls of our school. It was just another Monday, you know? I woke up to the annoying buzz of my alarm, groaning as I slapped the snooze button. The weekend had flown by, and now it was back to the grind at school. I threw on my least wrinkled shirt and a pair of jeans, grabbed my backpack, and headed out the door. The school was the same old two-story building, with its red bricks and two small windows. I walked through the halls, the sound of my sneakers echoing off the lockers. It was weird, though. The place was silent, like more silent than when we have those standardized tests and everyone's too scared to even cough. I shrugged it off, thinking maybe I was just early or something. I made my way to my locker, spun the combination, and it wouldn't open. I tried again, same deal. That's when I heard it, a faint whisper, like someone was trying to tell me a secret from the other end of the hall. "Hello," I called out, but no answer. Just the whispers growing louder, like a bunch of people were talking all at once, but so quietly. I felt a chill run down my spine. This wasn't right. I turned to leave, but that's when I saw her. A girl standing at the end of the hall, just staring at me. She was in an old-fashioned school uniform, one that hadn't been worn here in decades. I blinked, and she was suddenly closer, way closer than anyone could have moved in a blink. My heart was racing now, thumping so loud I could hear it in my ears. "Are you lost?" I managed to stammer out, but she just tilted her head, like she didn't understand. Then she vanished, just like that, gone. I rubbed my eyes, thinking I must be seeing things. Too many late nights gaming, probably. I decided to head to class, but the whispers followed me, getting louder and louder until now I feel whispers.
It started with a few students complaining of headaches and nausea during math class. At first, we thought it was just a coincidence, but as more and more of my classmates fell ill, fear began to spread through the school like wildfire. Rumors whispered of a mysterious illness spreading through the classrooms, but no one knew the cause. The school nurse was overwhelmed with students seeking help, but no amount of rest or medication seemed to cure the strange sickness that had gripped our school. As the days went on, the halls grew emptier, the once bustling classrooms now eerily quiet. Teachers tried to carry on with lessons, but the fear of falling ill hung heavy in the air. And then, one by one, the teachers themselves began to succumb to the mysterious illness. I watched in horror as my friends and classmates grew weaker and weaker, their faces pale and drawn. Desperate for answers, I searched the school for clues, until I stumbled upon a hidden room in the basement, filled with strange machines and glowing vials. I knew then that whatever was causing the illness was coming from within the school itself. But before I could investigate further, I was overcome by a wave of dizziness and nausea, collapsing to the ground in a heap. When I woke up, I was in the hospital, surrounded by worried faces and the faint beeping of machines. The doctors said I was lucky to be alive, but as I lay there recovering, I couldn't shake the feeling that the true horror lay not in the illness itself, but in the sinister secrets hidden within the walls of our school.